On the previous episode of Back to Basics.
Bill, I have some bad news for you. I'm afraid I can't give you medical clearance for flight tomorrow. You have eaten too many snacks that have grown obese.
But Doc, I feel fine. Please, just this once, let me do this. I must have my dignity.
And we are back, at least momentarily. I got most everything down, and we're back to 2 million or so. I found this test contract, which really I wouldn't take, except for the fact that it is free science, and it gave me an excuse to unlock these heavy legs here. So we will go ahead and launch this now. The goal is for us to get to, I think it's like 11,000. Half throttle will more than do here. We don't want to overdo it too much. We at least want to get out of the atmosphere. And I forgot to do this guy here. That'll be okay. Let's see, even less than half throttle I think would be okay. Let's just find the thing to test, and let's not accidentally stage this guy. Okay, we need to be going pretty fast. We need to get above the 11 kilometer mark here. So I think maybe about 5 kilometers or so. That is what I will go to full throttle, if that's even necessary. We do have a fair amount of delta V to begin with. But I think I'm going to punch it, I think. Oh, that was not soon enough. Let's bring this guy back down. If we can. We may need a little bit more in the way of fuel. I'm convinced we have enough parachutes, at least. And that'll be a good thing. I was a little bit worried about that. I didn't test this guy. I was just thinking, you know, maybe we should get this knocked out. But a little bit more fuel wouldn't hurt us, I don't think. And I know exactly how we will make this happen. We could also stand to have, you know, in addition to all this, we can stand to have a, that's way too many parachutes. I think, we would actually be better off here. Not using 8. Because we can easily handle that. If I could just get a little bit more delta V. And we'll try half throttle again. Good to know, though. This is about 8 tons or so. Let's recover this guy. That's the deal with these contracts, you see. They never end up really the parachute ones kinda suck because of their narrow range. I'll go with 4 instead. I think 4 is definitely safe. We'll throw on some extra fuel for good measure. Make it a little bit top heavy, but if we recover some of the fuel, I don't think that'll be too bad. And I was going to do a landing of sorts, but I think we should wait until, with the other lander, I was going to do more in the way of crew transfer. We can wait on that. And I forgot to put old flight engineer on there again. We're wasting a little bit of fuel. We don't want to do too much here. I don't really even think I want to punch it until we get closer in. Part of the deal being that we are so close to our range here. I'm just gonna let this guy climb. Fuel be damned. We are getting pretty close as it is already. There we go. If we need it, we have fuel to land with. Though that is going to be quite suspect. You'll also notice that I did the cleaning of this guy here. And it's really just a matter of recovery. I just don't want these guys to snap off. Now we will have gone west a little bit, but that'll be okay. Also, there's something I really need to do while I'm at it. We'll just wait to get down just a little bit at 1,000. I think I will go back to regular time acceleration. That is quite the slow ascent, or descent rather. Now, I'm not sure, though, if I just want to tap the engines just a little bit. Ooh. Okay. Well, that's no good. We lost that engine. Because I should have stayed with that, at 2.8. Oh well. It was only $2,000. Let's see if maybe there is another tasty contract for us. I don't want to do atmospheric scans yet. However, let's do this since we're sending things out to the sun. Because it is worth a good amount of science. Well, perhaps. That could be quite difficult. Let me think on that. We've got 4 days to do our solar guy. But there's one more thing for us to do here. Except, we don't have any carbonauts. Maybe it is time for us to train the next, wave of carbonauts. We have a pilot and an engineer. May need to get some scientists. But we'll just take the cheapest capsule we can find. We will flip the sky up on its side. And we will get ourselves a flag planted near the runway so that we can target it. That way we can really do 2 things. We can... okay, are you gonna let me EVA? There we go. You know what, we haven't gotten a surface sample here, nor an EVA report. Not that it's really necessary. But there's Billy Kerman, maybe trying to be Bill Kerman, except Bill Kerman, as I recall, was an engineer. Well, I think that's good enough. Can we plant a flag? We'll call this Kerbin Runway. Don't hit me. And we'll just get back over here. I think this will be sufficient for us to get close enough to where we can line up at least. The hope being that maybe we will gather some amount of science. But let's recover this guy. And I think we're good for now. There's some pretty good guys here. And in fact, I just want to look at that orbit real quick. See if that is going to be an excessively large orbit. Because if it is, then I'm not really interested in it. That orbit... it doesn't seem to show up. But we'll be all the way out to Mars, I think, if we do that. That between Mars and Dres. Given that fact, let's see what they want on it. They want an accelerometer. I don't know, seems like, it could be kinda tricky. Well, I'll decide that after, I think maybe after the polar base lands. For now, we've got 4 hours in order to make another decision. Not really a decision as such, but in order for us to target this guy. Let's see, what are we targeting? Are we still targeting Minmus? Now, I want to say that we are on the correct orbit here, and we will eventually get into the Duna sphere of or not the Duna, but the Minmus sphere of influence. And pretty soon, I reckon. There we go. Let's just target our Minmus station. How far off are we from that? We're 3 degrees. The question is, which direction? Because that 3 degrees could be difficult for us to correct right now. But relative inclination really isn't that bad. Okay. Well, that is, that's all taken care of. Let's just bring this guy on in. Fortunately, this guy has no need to land. That's 88 versus 93. Maybe a little bit more in the way of straightening up would be a good idea. It doesn't really have to be perfect, does it? One thing that is rather clear to me is that we are going to have to launch at some point or another. Oh, maybe a... Let's just see if we can get that descending node down just a little bit. Nope. That's the best we're gonna be able to do, I'm afraid. Well, that's okay. We're in phase with it. We've got 26 minutes to make this happen. And the polar base won't be long behind us, I don't think. Let's just make sure that everything here is in order. And we will burn it 14 seconds or so. Maybe not the best way to approach this, but it will do nicely. Let's just, for good measure, burn off the rest of this. Apoapsis is way too high. There we go. Okay, so about 1 degree or so. I think really we don't have to be much closer. But nice, we can actually get what could be considered an off-plane transfer. Even though it's not really off-plane. It'll take us about 20 minutes or so to get there. I had the hex available. I probably should have used that. At least yeah, because I launched this on a vehicle that used the hex. I can't imagine why I didn't. Well, it's too late to worry about it now, I'm afraid. The deal here is going to be that we're simply going to have to do without. Okay, we were a little late. Let's just see how close we are anyhow. We're... Okay, we are 1 point something kilometers. Or anyway, maybe we could do a radial burn to get in just a little bit closer. I think not. That is, in reality, that's plenty close. Let's see, how far away are we anyhow? 2.7 kilometers. I'm just going to play it by ear here. Given that, you know, our closest approach. Oh, physics loading. Let's see, what's our closest approach like? We would be better, I think, to burn at the target. Wherever that may be. Maybe... well, given our velocity, that won't really do much. RCS is unfortunately going to be difficult for us to separation at 1.3. Okay, we need to do something about that. Either the maneuver node system is lying to us, which is possible, or something else is lying to us. Very interesting. This should put us on a collision course with the station. This, however, should not. I mean, I guess we will collide with the station in any event if we do not take corrective action. But that is going to be a deal there. Let's just get in as close as we can. I think, well, really one of the issues is we actually now want to slip past the station. Because we're not on a... we're coming in at the, I guess what you could call the wrong side. I'm not sure you could really call it the wrong side. There is no preferred direction in space. I will set this guy as a target. Let's bring up the docking UI. If we can just slow our velocity down to a reasonable rate here, then I will be happy. But, yeah, we've got that one landing to do. And between that, we have... the lunar polar base. As well. Are we controlling from here? We are. Let's just slow us down to an appreciable velocity here. We're now upside down and we're feeling the burn of lag. Which is very slowly moving us away. Now, given this, we have a lot of work to do here. We have to cancel out all of this velocity here. We're now going at 0.6, of course, with very little, horizontal component. I think maybe we're good to increase our speed just a little bit. Docking sideways like this means that there is less of a chance of a collision, which we don't want. The main thing we're worried about are the solar panels on this thing. We have backup solar panels, but we don't really want to come to depend on them if we don't have to. Still several minutes in, and slowly losing alignment here. To think the Bermuda, oh okay, I need to slow this guy down. That was almost unfortunate. But we have fuel, and that's the important thing. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this guy up. In the hopes that maybe we will be able to utilize everything within it. And then another thing I'm going to do as well, once this guy gets filled up, is I am going to maybe get him ready for some kind of refueling. I think it would definitely be good for us to go ahead and land this base now. Or pretty soon at least. Oh well, let's transfer this in. We'll have plenty of fuel with which to get back. So that's going to be a good thing as well. Might even be able to do a wee bit of refueling with the remainder of this guy. We have more than enough Delta V to get back, and I would like to transfer a full load of fuel. But yeah, what we'll do now is we will hit the polar base. And we will simply make that inclination correction. And same guy with this, or same deal with this guy too. We're going to, you know, we're several minutes in right now. Now we're going to have to be careful with this. Part of the reason being that we are already pretty high up. I want to land this guy as quickly as possible. So let's see what our... We're fairly heavily inclined here. We need to fix that immediately. And there's really a couple of things to do here. The first is to burn towards the planet. To lower our apsis. We would like it pretty high, in fact, so we have some time to react. So I'm going to put it maybe at 50 or so. Just so we can get the benefit of time acceleration here. And then I'm going to make this adjustment out here. Doesn't have to be perfect as such. In fact, getting it perfect without RCS is going to be very difficult for us to do. Let's just do what we can, though. I think maybe we are too far out to do much in the way of correction. There we go. That is about as good as I think I can get it for now. And circularization is going to be a good idea. So let's time warp through the next few hours. Let's in fact get in as close as we possibly can. That is maybe a little bit too high. rather difficult for us to get a circular burn without us being able to tell where the sky is supposed to be. Indeed, we're just a little bit off here. That is 58 versus 54. We can bring... Oh, we're at 57 right now. We can bring that down just a little. $57 versus what? Okay, that is much more like it. We have 1 minute and 13 seconds left for a burn time. So maybe burning at 41? That would not be such a bad deal at all. Let's just get ourselves in position here. Oh, well, so much for that. Not quite the circular orbit that I imagined. Well, what can you do about that? Not much, I reckon. We can, however, warp to this guy here. I mean, we're still pretty on target, I would think. Oh, we're in kind of an interesting position here because of our orbit. You know what? Why don't we take the time here to circularize, or not to circularize, even just it would be good to get our axis above the poles. Let's do that, because we'll get there quicker. And we'll be on the daylight side, which is quite an advantage, actually. If we maybe get this guy to under 10K, that could be useful. We still got 2 days and 4 hours for that other one. Imagine that. And we just really want to get ourselves on the poles, I think. That would be a good thing for us to have. There's a nice polar orbit. Where nobody can disturb us. So there are the slopes. Still got plenty of delta V to land with. And it's time that I bring up the surface velocity here, because it would be good for me to know, I guess, first of all, what I'm landing on. Okay, we're at the poles. What are we targeting? Well, turns out we have not done ourselves too much in the way of good by landing this way here. I think, however, the slope is going to be okay. Where is our suicide burn? We have plenty of fuel, so we don't need to worry about that. We just need to worry about crashing into the surface. Alright. Time for the burn time to come down. Got another 200 or so meters to go. Why not extend some of these panels? And there we go. We just have to really stabilize. The fact that I've got this oscillation does bother me a little bit. But that will be good for now. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to maybe work on some infrastructure that we can launch while we're waiting. We have 195 science here. You know what, this is not a bad thing to have. I like this guy better than this guy. This guy being somewhat difficult to achieve. And as for the visual surveys, that shall be doable as well. So what I'm going to do is I am going to maybe now we gotta be on the surface. Definitely that's a disadvantage, and I think we actually do have a number of contracts for that sort of thing. And again, we just have temperature scans. So, yeah, I think we'll take on that visual survey contract so that we can put our scientists to good use. We'll send them to Manly's recess since, you know, really, that would be good for us to have. We get an advance on it. We also make a fair amount of money. So I'm going to launch a third, though probably not final, deal. And I will get back to you. I guess maybe before we do that, one more thing we forgot to do. We had science on that base, and that is maybe something we should not forget about. We'll go to the polar base real quick. And we will find a good place for this because, you know, the science, that is mighty creepy there. I wonder what would happen if I see it was SAS doing that. We'll log the temperature, send that out. We'll log the seismic data as well. More than enough science for us, I'm sure. That should have hopefully been... Oh, that didn't go for some reason. I think definitely by the end of this, we will have enough for improved space planes. There was lag of some kind there. That was causing us trouble. But you know, we'll be having these guys collect us some science while we're out there. I will let you know, I guess, here in a couple of minutes when I get it, but I do want to show you what my plan is with the tech tree. We more or less have everything we want, but it would be nice if we could get this guy and this guy here, so we could maybe work on something kind of like the space shuttle. Except maybe more of... Well, the space shuttle may be too much, actually. Maybe more along the lines of a single stage to orbit plane. Given what we've got now, this is sure a good thing to do. And I will, I guess, see you here in a bit. Okay, so I realized I'm a little bit more short on time than I thought I was, and I'm going to go ahead and get our intercept going. But I won't do much else, I don't think. So, what I'll do is I will burn at 1 minute 12 seconds. And maybe in between episodes, I hadn't quite decided this yet. I might launch some of the other missions. Really, we do need to take a break and get some of these guys taken care of. But, you know, I had thought about putting a new sort of, I guess a new sort of lander around the moon. I don't really want to do that until I get some fairly advanced parts, though, which means, of course, that we will be focusing on many things. I think maybe we should look at getting an SSTO going and some refueling infrastructure as well. And that we could probably do, you know, I want to say we could do it with what we get off of our contracts that we already have. Unfortunately, there are some things like we need to upgrade the runway. I think it's finally time for us to do that, and we need to upgrade the space station as well. Not the space station, but the hangar. Though, you know, I think maybe for a plane, we could do something pretty nifty. Let's just see if perhaps, we can get that done here. Certainly we're going to have to start worrying about refueling, and that's going to be a big issue. So, much of the ITS infrastructure is going to need to be in place. But we should be pretty close. We did save a little bit of Delta V here. Now I think we are coming on the correct side. So far, a pretty good launch. I'm just going to preemptively assume that maybe we do want to do more with planes in the future. And unlock some of these facilities. Because we can really stuff more onto a plane. Whoa. That is no good. Okay. Well, that was a waste of time. Let's upgrade this guy here, so we're at least level, and we're probably not going to be able to do much with more than 30 parts. So I'm gonna upgrade this guy. We can easily recover those finds, but that'll be for another time. And until then, this has been Thy Lord Root, and I will see you later.